Hi guys. Seems like lately every time I get onto a video I look like a sheepdog in bad need of a grooming. It's really not as bad as it looks on camera. For whatever reason the light in here is just hideous, and I just got home and just took it back, so I promise it's not as horrible as it appears on camera. I wanted to do a quick review. I got a really awesome planner in the mail, and so I wanted to do a review for them because I'm just so thrilled to have gotten this. I'm very excited. This is one of the Brush Dance planners. This is the doors and windows, obviously. One, I'll show you a little closer. That's 2013 date book. That's the quote from Joseph Campbell. Um, it's a hardcover. It's very similar to, say, like Lily Pulitzer or something. It does have corners here, and I'll talk about this a little bit. I mean, sharp corners here, and I'll talk about this a little bit more. But it's got a really excellent double spiral, metal double spiral, so you know that's going to hold up well during the year. It has the little elastic, and this elastic is fantastic. You know, you have some on notebooks that end up, 3 months down the road, loose like an elephant's pantyhose, and this I don't think is going to do that. This is a really excellent um, rubber band. It's hooked in twice here in the back, and that does not show through in the back. So it's hooked in twice, and then they've covered where it's hooked in on the back of it, which is nice. So that's going to hold it really tight in the inside the planner, so that I would suspect that this would stay very nice and very tight all year. And you would be able to put some things in there and expand and still have things kept in really well, I would imagine. So there's the front of it. It is about an A5 size, give or take a little bit. I'll show you against an A5 Filofax. This is an A5 Finsbury, and this is the size difference. So it's about like A5 page size. It's really good size. This is my favorite size, and actually I happen to have my work planner pad here. This is the half size planner pad, so sort of A5 size, and it's right about the same size as the planner pad. So that should give you, if you like planners, if you're a planner freak like I am, that gives you an idea. Next to a compact Filofax, that's the size of it. So it's an excellent size. In my opinion, this is the perfect size for planners. Certainly weekly planners. Dailies are nice this size too, but it could be a little bit much for you. That's the first page. The paper inside inside this is actually not the first page. It's actually a pocket. Is a sort of a shiny, smooth paper, cardstock. The only thing I can see wrong with this really is that this side should have been closed. I see why they did that, so you could get stuff in there without tearing the sides. I would probably tape that, and I might just use a little washi tape so it was also decorative, at least up to here. So you would still have a little bit of give in the pocket so it didn't tear, but this looks to me like a good way for me to lose stuff is all. I see why they did it, but I would probably tape that up on my own. Then inside here you have, and this is a really neat thing about this planner too, because the tabs are within the planner cover. So if you were like me and you throw your planner in bags and it travels around with you all year long and gets a little bit bashed and thrashed, this is really nice because those tabs are going to stay protected. So when you close the planner, as you can see, the tabs are completely concealed inside the covers of the planner. Genius. I love it when that happens. So you have the pocket, the nice little pocket. You have the first tab, which is obviously January. This is a 2013. Every month looks exactly the same, so I'm going to show you the first month. I'll show you some of the tabs because the pictures are really nice. So the months are these little blocks, and the months are on one page. It's on cardstock, and I was a little bit worried, but it doesn't have enough of a finish on it. You can see it's a little bit glossy, and I was afraid that the glossy paper would be difficult to take pins. I haven't written in it yet, but I don't think so. I think it's going to be okay. It's a really nice paper. And they have a lot of really neat things on this. They have the flower for January is carnation. The gemstone is garnet. It has Financial Wellness Month, International Creativity Month. It has Eastern Orthodox holidays, Muslim holidays, Australian holiday. I mean, there's a lot of stuff on here. You can see all the writing on this, and that's much more than you find in any other planner. I think that's fantastic because you never know what people celebrate. Plus, I like seeing when things are that are not necessarily holidays I celebrate, but are interesting. So it's really interesting. The weeks look like this. They are in blocks, horizontal. Well, yeah, horizontal. That was right the first time. So this is December 31st, January 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. 4th, 5th. Then Sunday is at the bottom of every week all the way across, which is interesting because, what I like about that is in a lot of planners, and we've talked about this both with Filofax and with Women's Success Planner is doing it for next year, and other planner companies I know shortchange the size of the weekends. It's very frustrating. So the way they've done these is 6 days in a block and then Sunday goes across, which is nice because you still have plenty of room on Sunday to write. And like a lot of us, our Saturdays and Sundays are as busy as the rest of the week, if not more so. So they also have at the top the current month in these little box planners, and I really like this because when you turn the page, obviously you don't have direct access to that monthly thing here. So it's nice to have that right here so you can do a quick glance. And like I talked about in my last planner video, what I've taken to doing is using these like in my Filofax, and I'll circle them and color code them. So green is a payday, red is when a bill goes out, and obviously I don't write anything there, but I can see what's going on that month. So the holidays are printed on the pages as well, and the days as well, in this nice gold ink. So the color of the ink is about the color of this page. It's not going to translate well for you, I think, on my webcam, and I apologize. You can see the one down here that I think says New Moon. Yes. And then this is they have their company name on every page, which, hey, that's perfectly great. It's not obtrusive at all. So it's the same thing for every month. When you get to the end of the month, you have a note space here at the bottom, and I'll have to look for you and see if that's the same every month. So there's note space there, and then at the end of every month, this planner is really genius. It really is. I really like it. You have 1, 2, 3 note pages. Yes, somebody listened finally and put note pages at the end of the month. Oh, it's genius. And there's not just one wimpy space, like there's not just this one right here, which probably wouldn't be enough. There are 3 of them. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So let's take a look at the end of February and see if they do the same thing. Okay, in February it's different. It's at the beginning of the month. So it looks like it's going to show up somewhere. You're going to have some extra note space either at the beginning or the end of the month. Okay, and then under the calendars here on the month, I didn't even show you in January, there's some note space underneath. So let's take a look at March real quickly. And there's, the pictures on all of the tabs are a full tab picture like that. And all of them have, a quote underneath. It's really, really pretty thing. So let's take a look at, okay, February, you have note space at the end of the month as well. So you have note space at the beginning of the month, at the end of the month. I guess the one at the beginning of the month depends on how the dates fall. And you have 1, 2, 3 note pages. And it's so nice to have them enclosed in the months because you can do lists this way. So if you have a list that doesn't change every month, you can do that. You just tab it. And so let's say I use the January one and I repeatedly use the January one. That's fine. But often your lists change, and mine change often month by month because I will put lists like things to buy, things that need to be done. Excuse me just a second. And things like that. So I think it's really handy to have them at the end of the month instead of having everything stuck in the back of the planner, because that's just a lot of pain to be flipping back and forth. I mean, it's a first world pain, and let's be realistic, but I really like it embedded in the months. At the end of the planner, you have an addresses section. I have mixed feelings about this because I do keep my addresses in a planner, but I don't change them over. What I keep them in is something that I can move into different planners. It was something that I think that came with a Quo Vadis planner or something, and I use that and I just move it around. And I also keep them I also have them recorded in my Filofax that I use as a wallet. So I have them a couple of places and I don't change them over frequently. So I have mixed feelings about the addresses. There's a lot of space for them. And let me count how many pages really quickly. I didn't do that. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages at the back. So each of them has this on the front and the back. So that's 12 pages of addresses. I really feel like that probably could have been better used as a mix of note pages and addresses, because in this day and age, it's pretty rare for somebody to keep 12 pages of addresses. That would just be really strange. Most people have a cell phone and keep most of their addresses and things in the cell phone. And even if you keep them in something else, 12 pages, that's six addresses per page. So, you know, that's 12 times 12. That's like 144 people, right? Does that make sense? I hope the math is right. I know 12 times 12 is 104. Oh, never mind. That's a lot of addresses. So I have mixed feelings about that, but it doesn't make or break this planner for me at all. And you could conceivably either put post-it notes over this or just write in it. You know, there's no planner police. So if you use it as note space, it wouldn't be an issue, obviously, because it's yours. Do with it what you will, right? But I think the space perhaps could have been better used with note pages as well. That being said, I think this thing is fantastic. They do make more than one style. I will link their website for you. Brush Dance, thank you very, very much for this review copy. I absolutely am in love with it, and this is something that I could see using year after year. Oh, the one thing I was going to say about these corners, this is one more thing that I wish planner companies would do, and it's probably cost prohibitive is why they don't. I wish they would round them off. Sometimes we get rough with our planners, or maybe you don't, I do, and by, you know, this is January to December, so by July, things like this start looking pretty rough. It's a minor quibble, but something that, you know, you look for, but like I said, a minor quibble. Highly recommended. I will link their website for you. I would absolutely pay for this, and I would absolutely use it. I like it. One more thing that I need to share that I didn't is that the paper is fantastic. Those of you who use fountain pens, this is a very heavyweight. I wish we had Filovision. I can't show you how thick it is, but let me just do something really quickly. Let's just do a test. Let me actually find a fountain pen. You wouldn't think it would be that hard with as many as I have. And we'll write fountain pen test. This is a medium nib, a very, very juicy nib. So if it's going to bleed through or show through, it's going to do it with this nib. Fountain pen test. Let's flip over and see what we see on the back. It's also not coated, so it is a bit absorbent. You might get some feathering on it. There is a tiny bit of show through. I can see what I wrote, although, well, I can't read what I wrote. I can see that I wrote something on the other side. I cannot read it. It doesn't show through enough, and there's not an ounce of bleed through. So it is fountain pen friendly, which also means that it's going to take felt tips well. Sharpies probably will bleed through, but the Sharpie pins won't. It's going to take Sharpie pins fantastically well. Gel pens are going to work. I mean, the reality is if I have a big, fat, wet, juicy nib fountain pen, that most everything that you're going to throw at this, that you're going to write with the exception of Sharpie markers, is probably going to be just as brilliant. Excellent buy. They are $16.95 retail. For $16.95, you couldn't possibly go wrong. This is excellent. I will link the website for you. And again, Brush Dance is the company, and Brush Dance, thank you very much. All right, thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.